So this series is called Anatomy of a Comic, and like seasoned killer comedians. You know, kind of the first thing is kind of what's your background in comedy, each of you?
My background is I watched The Simpsons every day, and then I would quote Simpsons quotes to my parents, like whenever it became applicable in a conversation. Like, oh, that reminds me of the Simpsons episode. And then I started watching Comedy Central really flat. Probably the first Comedy Central presents I ever saw. And then I just started taping them on VHS. They'd have Friday night stand-up. And just play like 8 of them in a row. And I would just leave the VCR recording, and then I would go back and watch all the specials. And I started telling my friends the jokes that I saw because I was shy and didn't know how to hold a conversation. So I would just be like, hey, this is that I saw. Dane Cook. And they're like, nice. And then it got to the point where I had a film in high school, and it got second place in the film festival, and it's like everybody's laughing at it. And that's when I kind of decided I was going to start writing stand-up. And it took me forever to like figure out how to write a joke. I spent probably about 4 years writing in my basement before I even did an open mic. And then it went really well, and I just didn't stop doing it.
Cool. When did you do your first stand-up?
November 11th, 2007.
Nice.
I just broke the 3-year mark.
Awesome. Congrats, man. It's really great stuff. Scott, same question to you. And also, Scott, tie-in. That's really, I remember mine too, so yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Scott, same question.
Yeah.
And also add in that tie-in you say about somehow there's a tie-in between you two starting.
Yeah, we actually started comedy in close proximity. Started in Rochester, and I started in Syracuse probably about the same time. It was somewhere in 2007, like the winter of 2007. Is when I finally went up. I'd actually seen a couple shows that were produced by the big comedy club in Rochester, which was Comics Cafe. They started doing shows out in Syracuse to try to build the market because there had been a comedy club there for like 10 years or so. And it didn't do well at all. And I don't know, that's how I got my first taste of Comics Cafe. So I went over to Rochester a couple nights and did an open mic here and there. But I'd say probably started really happening for me in Syracuse when they opened up Wise Guys, which is a place for like Bobcat Goldthwait got started, Moody McCarthy, stuff like that. It's just really great comedians from the 80s anyway. And I was in school, and a lot of my friends getting directed here. A lot of my friends thought I was funny, and you know, I said I'll give it a try. I just walked up there and I did it, and you know, my friends thought like he's gonna go up there and just rip on it. And, like, no, I had planned material, and that, you know, in case that event happened where I had to go on stage in front of my friends, and I did really well, and it's gonna slow right down.
The question for both of you, your first month of comedy, would people say you were killing when you first started?
Yeah.
Nice.
That first month was good. Like,
nice.
You're doing it in front of an open mic crowd, you're doing a big show, so you're going to kill until, you know, you get your first like spot on a regular show on the weekend where it's not going to be the big joke. It's not going to be, you know, that genre of open mic comedy that you come to expect. But yeah.
How about you, Nigel?
I got my first stage show my 5th time on stage. I was doing really well. It wasn't like some high profile anything. It was just a female comic, older female comic in town who had started late. Like, she'd only been doing it for like 4 or 5 years. You know, so they wanted me to open for a gay bar. It was going to take me $30. And I was just like, sure, you know. It sounds good. Yeah, well, I was good. Actually, it wasn't a short. It was more like, oh my God, this is how I'm going to make my living. But it, you know, I get there and I do the show. Well, actually, when I was telling my friends about it, because I've been talking about doing stand-up for 4 years, and I finally did it, and I immediately get a paying gig, and So I'm like trying to tell my friends about it, like new friends I had made, that I was just like, hey, come check me out, I'm doing the gay bar. You know, it's like, oh, I'm so proud of you. I show you. Yeah. And then I bombed once, and it was just like, I got really uptight about it. I started worrying, and then it was just up and down the first year. I actually had jaw surgery my first year, where I couldn't speak for 6 weeks, so I had to stop doing comedy. I did stand up once while I had jaw surgery. There's actually a video on YouTube of me. Water shut. I was swollen shut. I mean, I had yeast in my mouth, and I was up there like, oh, come on. Like, it's just there, and like, and then I would just roll blood. That's how it goes. And, I too. Oh, it was, I actually did, and it wasn't, you couldn't like, I tell a joke, nobody would laugh. I'd be like, so they would laugh. But actually, a girl hit on me after the show. I've never been hit on, ever, by anyone, and she comes up to me when I'm just, like, drooling and all messed up, like, they actually removed my jaw from my skull, so the swelling is just intense, and the bruising, and she's still like, you're cute, you remind me of my cousin that I have a crush on.
Oh my God.
What did you look like before the surgery? You know, like a face reconstruction, but you can see the thing. But then I was just like, what, really? And she's like, well, I would have told you that sooner, but I thought you were retarded.
Did you both move here at the same time?
Actually, we did, kind of. Yeah. I've been here for a year now. Well, not really. 4 months. Yeah. Close enough, I guess. I mean, what is it in comedy? Yeah. I came here. My wife's from here. Pretty lame story. It's not like looking to make Seattle my next city to conquer. It looks like that. I came here with my wife, who's from Tacoma. And there was no fucking way we were going to Tacoma. So.
Poor Nigel, you learned from Nigel.
But I think Seattle is kind of where the scene is anyway.
So was the move from New York to here conscious for comedy?
No, it's for a job.
Okay.
But comedy came in a close third.
Okay. You, Nigel?
See, I forgot you said you also moved from New York. Yeah. Everyone was like, so when you moved from New York, I'm like, oh, that's hey. Not that guy. It was to take care of my grandparents, but I definitely, like, if they had just been like, hey, come take care of us, I would have been like, no. But I knew Seattle was a really big scene that I could tell. I'm a really selfish prick. Like, yeah. if it had, I'd be like, just die, Grandma. No, but I did move here to mostly take care of them during the day and then be able to do stand-up every night. Yeah. And it was important. I was going to move down to New York City. That was my initial plan when I graduated from grad school and from while New Jersey. And, I couldn't find a job down in New York, and I had gone down there a couple times to do shows, and it's super saturated. And I remember seeing this big group of comics come over from Seattle. I saw them in New York. That whole group of People's Republic of Comedy. Yeah. And I saw all those guys, and they did, super well. And I was like, you know what? I don't think that I'll be able to be marketable in this New York scene. I don't think I'll have enough time to get, to where I want to be and whatnot. So I said, let's go to Simple Life. Let's move to Seattle. That's where I'm going to get good.
So speaking of the inspiration for your comedy material, so for each of you, this question to each of you, how has the inspiration for what you draw on for your comedy material changed over time? Like when you started, were you, hey, whatever it was, and has it evolved over time?
Yeah, it has definitely. Like when I first started, it was actually pretty clean. Just because I was really nervous about being dirty. But then when I got right around the same time that I started writing dirty, I also saw Phil Hicks, and he like I'd never even really known about him at all, so it kind of like blew my mind, and then I started getting dirtier, and then I would bomb, so I would get just a little bit dirty, like I would just amp it up a little bit, and by the end of that first year, I was dressing in all black. I had a black mohawk, I was just talking about like race and like all the topics that all the new guy topics, like all the I'm trying to be an edgy comedian, I want to be the next Bill Dick, like it's. And then at some point I had to do a charity benefit and I had to be clean, and I just ate shit in the 15 minutes that I was up there, and I was like, but I saw the benefit, like I wasn't getting people weren't cringing anymore, they weren't going ooh, and so I kind of saw that I should start writing clean, and then I really worked hard at being kind of like PG-13, like palatable, just because it can play almost anywhere.
Scott, same question.
Wait, what was the question?
So, what the inspiration for your comedy material, has it changed over time?
Yeah.
And what is it? Yeah, what is the inspiration?
My inspiration is just seeing the hypocrisies in life, or the funny things that we take for granted, the funny or the cynical thoughts, I guess, that we often take for granted. I think is where I first came from. You know, when I first started, it was I'm going to shock you with the typical new comic, edgy type of joke, talking about masturbation, stuff like that. I don't even want to talk about it. It's like horrible to go back there. But but then you get a taste for something other than that. It's almost too easy. It's low-hanging fruit, and you catch on to stuff that you see in everyday life, things that don't really click with you. And I desperately look for those every day. That's to the point where it's working to my detriment. Do you feel that same way? I'm almost like struggling so much just to like pull a joke from anywhere. It's almost desperation. Yeah, no, I know. I mean, it's always a cycle, and there's going to be, where you're writing a lot of really good stuff, and then kind of the rest of the time is just like you can't think of a lot of things. What comes out of it very good, I don't know. Like sometimes you just power through it. Other times, like I always try to force myself to write even when I'm not inspired, because I want to keep the saw sharp. Like I want to be able to write quickly and make think of all the thoughts that I need to have when I hit a further topic. Yeah, exhausted by it. Like, where do you get your the thing that drives you to do that? Like, to me right now, it's like coming down from a big set, and like it gets my mind working. I get excited. Yeah. You ever feel that way? Yeah, no. Like the most the other day, it was like, I don't want to think about comedy right now. But like when you forget what it feels like during the day, but then when you do it at night, you feel that laughter. Like that's what motivates me to start thinking differently again. It's almost a manic type of feeling, I guess. No, I would say the same thing. I feel like after a bad set, that's what motivates me to write. Yeah. Then after a good set, that's what inspires me to have the better thoughts. Yeah. Nice. I just have more confidence in my writing. Because when I'm writing it, I'll be like, this is funny, and then I kind of just because I'm confident off that good set. Yeah.